Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday again. It is Monday, November the 17th, and we're here to look at the new releases that are published this week. They have added a new screen, and I don't know why. I don't know what that means. We'll figure it out later. Hope you had a good weekend. Let's jump in. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. I don't know. I don't understand where there's a double screen here. First up, Reese Bowen has a new one in her Royal Spinous series, 19th in that series. This is From Cradle to Grave. Georgie may be figuring out what it means to be a new mother, but she doesn't know one thing for sure. She does know one thing for sure. She absolutely despises the strict nanny who was foisted upon her by her meddlesome sister-in-law. In search of a new nanny, Georgie travels to London to see her old friend Zuzu, only to find her about to depart for a funeral after the unexpected death of a young man in her social circle. It quickly becomes clear there's more than one mysterious death around town when another friend reveals he's also just returned from the funeral of a school friend who seemingly died in a boating accident. But when word arrives that the son of a family friend has also died tragically and unexpectedly, Georgie is certain it can't be a coincidence, yet the victims don't seem to have any connection to one another. Zuzu shares Georgie's suspicions that the deaths were not an accident and begs Georgie to solve the case. As Georgie delves deeper, she can't help worrying that her own husband, Darcy, may be next. It seems likely there is a serial killer at work, excuse me, and Darcy fits the bill to be their next victim. Will Georgie solve the murders before it's too late for Darcy and manage to find the perfect nanny all at the same time? Doop. Peggy Townsend has a new one. I believe this is not associated with her previous books, but she does have similar looking covers. This is The Botanist's Assistant. Plenty of people consider Margaret Finch odd. 6 feet tall and big boned, she lives alone in a small cabin in the woods, drives a 20-year-old truck, and schedules her life so precisely you can tell the time and day of the week by the chore she is doing and what she is wearing. But the same attributes that cause her to be labeled eccentric, and obsessive attention to detail and the ability to organize almost anything, make her invaluable in the job as research assistant. Number two to a talented and charismatic botanist. It's those very same qualities, however, that also turn Margaret into a target after a surprising death shakes the small university where she works. Even as authorities claim the death appears to be from natural causes, Margaret fears it might be something more, a murder born of jealousy and dark secrets. With the aid of newly hired and enigmatic drinking game, night custodian, Margaret finds herself thrust into the role of detective, forcing her to consider what she may not be able to find, that she may not be able to find the killer before the killer finds her. 20-year-old truck, that's normal. Be more like 40-year-old would make more of an impact that the author is thinking. Perhaps the author is young and think we all get a new truck every year. Snark before breakfast. I love it. Knives Before Christmas by J. Kent Holloway. Holiday Emporium owner Thomas Nast isn't your typical guy. His Victorian-era home is sentient, with a 13-foot guard alligator named Tinsel living in its walls. I'm out. A mostly invisible and mischievous elf named Peppermint reluctantly serves his every whim, and he just happens to be the next in line to become the real-life Santa Claus. Until that happens, however, Tom spends his days helping the people and frequent tourists of Christmas Florida with all their Christmas and other holiday needs. That is, of course, until he walks into his store one morning to find the body of a man dressed in full Santa costume, a man reviled by almost everyone in town, who has been stabbed multiple times with a pocket knife identical to 6 custom jobs Tom had given to his closest friends a few years earlier. With Tom's young assistant, Trixie McNamara, a police crosshairs as the prime suspect, Tom is forced to dig up the dirt on his friends, a nasty town spinster and a semi-retired mobster, to prove Trixie's innocence. But as he investigates the murder, Tom will find himself in the crosshairs of an altogether different kind if he's not careful, and Santa's in training, he knows, can die just like anyone else. Good morning to Davil. The Death of a Maven by Katherine Johnson, the first in the Haunted Farmhouse Mysteries. On the anniversary of her husband's death, all Verity Cade wants is a quiet night in with her besties. The next morning, she's shocked when the body of one of their group is discovered at the bottom of an abandoned quarry. Although the sheriff rules it a suicide, Verity is sure her friend couldn't have killed herself. Determined to uncover the truth and give the grieving family closure, she scours the victim's journals and discovers a web of lies and secrets. Meanwhile, her struggling Vermont farm has a new complication: 2 ghosts, former owners from 2 centuries ago, who can't pass on. With help from her living and not-so-living friends, Verity must solve a murder no one else believes happened before the killer strikes again. Do they have to add the ghosts? End of that row. A Case of Life and Limb by Sally Smith, second in the Trials of Gabriel Ward series. Christmas Eve, 1901. Gabriel Ward Casey is hard at work on a thorny libel case involving London's most famous music hall star, Topsy Tillotson, and its most notorious tabloid newspaper, The Nation's Voice. But the inner temple remains as quiet and calm as ever, quiet, that is, until a severed hand arrives in the post. While the hand's recipient, Temple Treasurer Sir William Waring, is rightfully shaken, Gabriel is filled with curiosity. Who would want to send such a thing, and why? But as more parcels arrive, one with fatal consequences, Gabriel realizes that it is not Sir William who is the target, but the temple itself. Someone is holding a grudge that has already led to at least one death. Now it's up to Gabriel and Constable Wright of the City of London Police to find out who, before an old death leads to a new murder. Lights, Lanterns, and Lies by Cindy Bell, 36th in the Dune House Cozy Mysteries series. Susie and Mary are soaking up the holiday atmosphere of the Winter Lights Festival, but the celebrations come to a grinding halt when the dead body of a social media influencer is found in a dazzling light display. Determined to uncover the truth, Susie and Mary dive headfirst into the investigation, only to stumble on a web of lies and deceit, and just when they think they've cracked the case, a shocking twist turns the investigation on its head. Susie and Mary head straight toward trouble. Can they catch the killer before there's another victim? Tracy Grant has a new one in her series. The Covent Garden Caper. Uh, 32nd in the Rannoch Fraser series. Don't let the number of books scare you. They are also counting the novellas in with this. So, for a strict Aristocratic former spies Melanie and Malcolm Rannoch, an attempt to steal incriminating documents is a normal evening out in Mayfair. The Napoleonic Wars taught the Rannochs to prepare for the unexpected, but it seems they've acquired a lethal new enemy who not only snagged the papers ahead of them, but has been amassing information to blackmail them and their dearest friends. Suddenly their mission turns far more dangerous. They're no longer just working to avert a diplomatic scandal, they're trying to protect those closest to them from arrest and imprisonment. Melanie and Malcolm hatch a dangerous plot to outwit their enemy on a royal night at the opera, with the king in attendance. But in candlelit salons, it's difficult to tell allies from enemies. And if they fail, it is the Rannocks themselves who could be facing charges of treason. A Tale of Christmas Murder by Lucy Emblem, second in the Charity and Muffin Cozy English Mystery. Charity was hoping for a Merry Christmas in Malvern View Retirement Village, mince pies in the cafe, children making decorations, and cozy evenings with her fluffy dog Muffin. But when a mysterious stranger doesn't live to see Christmas morning, her peaceful holiday takes an unexpected turn. With Dorothy at her side, armed with tea, buns, and the occasional sherry, Charity begins to unravel a jumble of festive mishaps, jealousies under the mistletoe, quarrels over carols, and a near-toppled Christmas tree that sets tongues wagging. Behind the sparkle of fairy lights, it seems some villagers are hiding secrets darker than the winter nights. Can two elderly amateur sleuths and their dogs unwrap the truth before another accident spoils the season, or will danger shadow Charity's new life of knitting, cake, and crossword puzzles? End of row 2. Tombstones and Turkeys by Kira Jane Harper, 5th in the Harper Quinn Paranormal Mystery Series. She named her character after her last name? Huh. When Harper's estranged mother sweeps back into town, she brings more than emotional baggage. She brings chaos. Old wounds reopen. Roach is one sarcastic comment away from haunting the entire holiday, and Harper can't shake the feeling that something sinister is stirring beneath Willow Haven's cheery, pumpkin-spiced surface. Then a strange frost appears during the town's Thanksgiving parade, followed by a chilling message from beyond the grave. The Grayson family, Willow Haven's picture-perfect dynasty, is hiding a deadly secret, and Harper's turkey and tension holiday quickly turns into a full-blown investigation. Between managing her mother's barbed compliments, keeping Eli's optimism intact, and keeping her own spectral husband from picking a fight with the living, Harper must uncover the truth before the town's gratitude feast becomes a funeral. Alibis and Alchemy by Lucinda Harrison, 1st in the Potion Shop Intern series. After spending most of her life in a cruel, uncaring orphanage, Carmody Green is thrilled to be selected to participate in an internship program through the American Association of Potion Makers. Her mentors, the Merriweather twins, 2 freshly minted level 10 potion masters. Their nemesis, Chief Inspector of Chester Hollow's Regulations and Town Standards Office. Notepad perpetually in hand, the Chief Inspector never misses an opportunity to log yet another violation for the twins' potion shop. So, when he turns up stiff and cold in a dark alley, the Merriweathers are obvious prime suspects. But they're not alone when it comes to motive, and they soon discover their shop wasn't the Chief Inspector's only target. The last thing Carmody wants is to return to the orphanage. With her future on the line, she must clear the Merriweather name to ensure her internship doesn't fizzle out before it even has a chance to begin. Well, that makes it sound like she's under 18. Is she a teen sleuth? It doesn't say. Christmas at Thornton Park, 8th in the Thornton Mysteries. On Christmas Eve 1930, Thomas Thornton unveils a set of Russian dolls he had commissioned master craftsman Sergei Zolotarov to create. Each doll was carved to tell the tale of the Snow Queen. But when one, the little robber girl, vanishes, suspicion falls on guests who joined the Thorntons for Christmas Day. That night, Higgins, the Beauregard butler, is found murdered, and Viktor Zolotarev, Sergei's brother, is struck by a car and later attacked. When the same guests gather for New Year's Eve at Thornton Park, Alexandra wonders, will the killer be unmasked before the night is over? Reapers and Reading by L. Adams, 16th in the Library Witch Mystery. Rory and her magical family are deep in preparing for the holiday celebrations, but the local Grim Reaper throws a spanner or scythe in the works when the town of Ivory Beach is chosen to host the Reapers' annual summit. Not only is the town swarming with angels of death instead of Santa's elves, but the situation gets even less cheery when a Reaper apprentice is found to have been murdered. Now Rory and Xavier must unmask a killer among a group of people who reap the souls of the dead for a living, not to mention capture someone without a physical body to put behind bars. As the threat of the Reaper Council hangs over the town like a scythe, they have no choice but to race against the clock to unveil the culprit before the year's end. If the head Reapers do show up in town, will their relationship survive the fallout? End of that row. What a weird morning. Christmas Clues and Killers, 3rd in the Witchy at 50 Cozy Mysteries. Josie Appleton is full of Yuletide cheer. Her B&B is fully booked, her magic is behaving, and even her usually snarky familiar is purring with turkey-fueled sass. With snow falling and magical cinnamon buns rising, this rookie witch is ready for the perfect celebration. But news that the local animal rescue shelter might close for lack of funds bursts her festive bubble, especially when its owner turns up dead. Josie's sleuthing instincts kick in faster than a broom racing home in a snowstorm when the local detective enlists her help, and with a crime colder than a snowman's backside, and her handyman heart-meltingly handsome in his Jingle Bell jumper, it's a challenge staying focused and alive. Can Josie crack the case and give the shelter animals their midwinter miracle, or will a killer turn her into the ghost of witches past? A Curiosity of Cults by Craig Comer, 2nd in the Harvest Falls Mysteries. It's summer in Harvest Falls. The trails are sun-kissed, tourists pack the streets, and the town's dark past is cultivating difficulties. After a slew of rough bumps, Charlie Good has put her life back together. She's set to join her dad on the local police force. She's helped her cousin make his board game shop, Roll For It, a success. Best of all, she's rekindled her romance with local bar owner and high school crush James Bryson. But nothing is straightforward in the Pacific Northwest town, and soon whispers of cult activity have locals jumping at shadows. Then, on the morning of the summer solstice festival, a man is found dead under suspicious circumstances. Was the death the result of an ancient druidic rite? Perhaps the work of a sinister plot targeting local business owners? As a web of lies spirals out of control, Charlie is determined to uncover the truth, but unmasking the deceivers places her in their crosshairs, and things are about to get dicey. Rescue on Gooseberry Bay, Orphan Andy by Kathy Daly. Bexley Cosgrove knows what it means to be left behind. As a child, she was abandoned and would surely have died if not for the actions of a stray dog who found and took care of her. That dog didn't just save her life, he gave it meaning. Now an adult, Bexley has made it her mission to return the favor, one rescued animal at a time. With a heart as big as her rescue ranch, she fights for every lost and forgotten soul, determined to give them the second chance she was once provided. When Bexley stumbles upon a stray dog behind the Gooseberry Bay Adoption Center wearing a cozy sweater and a collar with the name Andy, she immediately knows something is off. This isn't just another abandoned pup. Andy was clearly loved and clearly cared for, and yet no one has reported him missing. Determined to find Andy's family, Bexley takes him back to the cottage on the peninsula and starts digging. Her search leads her to a quiet, seemingly deserted home with signs of recent activity and neighbors with stories that don't quite add up. While her friends insist the family likely just moved and deserted the dog, Bexley can't shake the feeling that something deeper is going on. As she follows the clues left behind, she uncovers a mystery riddled with secrets that may have been better left buried. Troubled Waters, A Raven's Wing Irish Murder Mysteries by T.E. Harkins, fourth in that series. When the President of the United States arrives in the quiet Irish village of Ballygooser for a family visit, American journalist Savannah Jeffers expects a few heartwarming photo ops, not an international incident. But her day takes a dark turn when she discovers the body of a young woman in the middle of a stream next to a live baby seal. Whispers race through the village. The dead woman was a selkie, a mythical creature that's half seal, half woman. Savannah doesn't buy it. Legends don't kill people, murderers do. And when the victim is filled to be Maureen Kilpatrick, the president's own niece and a fiery environmental activist with no shortage of enemies, Ballygooser erupts in speculation and suspicion. With the Garda treading carefully and the secret police watching her every move, Savannah and her aunt Audrey Murphy must uncover the truth before the killer slips away and strikes again. And that is all we have time for today. Hope you have a good Monday. Wednesday we'll be looking at the darker side, crime fiction and thrillers, and our next sprints are tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Have a good day, and as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.